Hi, I'm Ted from Everything Attachments, and we're finally back doing videos in the first of 2020. It's the middle of January. It's the first cold day we've had. We've had a lot of rain, so we're really waiting on the prime video days to get outside. So until then, we really have a lot of attachments that we've been building that we haven't even put on the website yet or explained what we've done to them. There's tons of upgrades that have been done through the attachments over the last 2 years, but as most of you know, we were running about 12 weeks behind in our old factory. We've been in our new factory about 7 months now, and we've caught up with every old order, and we've built over $500,000 worth of stock. So things will be shipping out in 3 days, sometimes the same day. There's a few things that may go out a little later, but as we get this new factory rolling, all that's going to go away, and we're glad to show some of the new things off that we can do, just like on this piece, and I'm going to show you that we couldn't do in the old factory. Now, there's a lot of configurations of this, and we wanted to pretty much cover everything with one main piece where we could adapt it for you the easiest, make it the easiest for us to build, give you the best piece at the least price. So we've added a few things for the front Bale spear. The ability to put 2 bottom spears if you're doing the big square bales. You still have the ability to put in the top Bale spear with the 2 spikes. And you also have a trailer mover if you want to remove these. This is a 3-inch hole. We also have an adapter here that'll go down, that'll let you install this into there, and will let you use the standard 2-inch adapter, which has been used for many years. The new bigger trucks, though, are coming out with the 2.5-inch adapter like that. It does have the 2 5/16 ball on the top, so you can move a gooseneck trailer with it. And these holes here are in there, and the width of this is determined because of a John Deere. If you happen to have a John Deere 500 style hitch, then that's where the pins will be located for your hitch. So we kind of try to do one pipe that has everything in it as it goes through our tubing laser. So with a tubing laser, which will take any type of structural, whether it's square, rectangle, angle iron, I-beam, whatever, we can put it in there and rotate it and do any type of burn we want to on it, including chamfering. Just like this pipe here, that's a 2x3. This is a 3x3, and that's a 4x4. So then the reason we did the 3x3 and the 4x4 is because on a lot of skid steers, when the plates go up and down on the hitch, they're relatively flat if they're all the way back. They have a lot of curl down, but not much curl up. So if we use a wider tube at the bottom, it allows you to get more curl up on your attachment that your machine just doesn't have. So you still got all these different combinations that you can do. And then we've made it easy for us to put the different hitches on this. And just to show you one of the things I'm going to show you from this side, and I don't know that you'll be able to see it because it's black, but you'll see these little holes that come through this plate. And that's tabbing in what I'm going to turn this around and show you the hitch on the back. So what we do is the spots I showed you on the back locate these pieces here. And that's going to give you an exact, and I really am a fan of the Euro hitch. John Deere has adapted it a lot on their larger tractors. A lot of the other tractors are starting to adapt it. It's a good way to hook something that's got a fair amount of horsepower and push. It's a little difficult to make, but it's a good hitch. So there's a lot of ways to make it. Most people make this out of a single piece, and they'll burn these holes. The only thing bad with that, the reason we have a 10,000 watt fiber laser now, a Bistronic, so we certainly can cut 1 inch. But anytime you cut, we like it to be as perfect as it can be. So we go through the trouble of doing 2 1/2 inches instead of a 1 inch piece, because when you do a hole through with anything, whether you're burning it with a plasma, you're burning it with a laser, when you're doing a hole, there's pretty much a rule that you can't go smaller with the hole than the thickness of the metal. And when you do that, you end up with a slightly cone-shaped. It can't make the walls perfectly straight. and that's called kerf. So we can get the walls almost perfectly straight in 1/2 inch, but there's no good way to get the walls perfectly straight on a consistent basis with 1 inch. So we go ahead and burn 2 1/2 inch pieces, laminate it together to make sure that hole's good and smooth and it's square. And that means you're not just wearing on one side, waiting for it to get bigger till it matches the other side. And then we weld it together in the center, put the beautiful welds on the side, and you're good to go for a Euro hitch. It's got the extra spacer up here, which is on all Euro hitches, to make everything fit tight. So I'm really a fan of the Euro hitch. We're going to show you the other hitches with basically this same frame, but with different combinations of what you can do with the spears. Okay, so we switched out the frames here, and we've put the frame for the John Deere on here. And the only reason that hole is still empty is this particular John Deere hitch is for a 400 loader and smaller, not the 500, which uses the lower pin, and I'll show you that when we turn it around. We put this back in its standard configuration for a front regular standard round bale, which is going to use the top spear, and these are Italy made spears. There's no spear I know of right now that's made in the US that at all, especially in this quality. This is the best spear I can buy. It's the most expensive spear. It is a Italian made spear. And these bottom spikes are what keeps your bale from rotating while you're using it. And I went through the other video. It does come standard. Right now I'm using the 2-inch spacer, which turns your 3-inch trailer mover into a 2-inch. I'm using that just to hold up on this spike right now. And we're going to spin it around and show you the John Deere hitch so you know what you would be getting. Either way, you're going to get your front end bale mover with everything you see as far as the double holes down here, the trailer mover, the gooseneck mover, all that's coming standard. You'll be able to pick your spears as you want them. So this is the John Deere hitch, which you're going to put underneath here. They're a cast iron piece on either of the John Deere units. The 400 is a smaller unit. It will use the top pin. The 500 unit, and for its heavy dutiness, we're going to run that pin all the way through the frame to give you a good rigidity. And if you can see this in here, where this plate's burned, right where these brackets fit, so you get a perfect fit every time with everything attachments. Now, one of the things I didn't really mention on the other, with our tubing laser, it gives us so much abilities to do things we've never done. Since this is a 4-inch, this is a 3-inch, we took a 2x3 and we actually are going all the way through this 3x3. So they both have holes in them. So the very first thing we do is we take the collars that are meant for a regular hay spear, and then we line up these two right here, which dedicates how far that should be apart and makes the frame square. So there's things like this that we do where this is actually going through this, and you've got 3/4 of an inch on each side. Most of these that you'll see will come with a square plate welded to the front and the back. And that's so they can just take a torch or something, burn a large hole in it. Then they take the plates, which are easy to cut a hole in with a machine like a burn table or something, and they weld them to the front and the back and align the spear in a jig. The way these are built, there's no real way to get them out of line. And we don't have to weld that plate for strength. We've still got a thick tube here, 3/4 of an inch through here that goes through that collar. These bale spears that we're using are rated for 3,500 pounds. I've looked at a lot of frames. If you use this spear in the frames that we've been looking at, you're going to have a bent frame. So not only do we use the best spear, we build a frame that will take the weight that it's rated for, which is 3,500 pounds. Okay, so we've changed the frame again, and the main difference, the only real difference is the actual mounts that are on the back. This is the standard universal skid steer mount, which has been adopted to almost all tractor mounts and up to a certain size Of course, there's always the John Deere mount, which is usually different. And then you have the Euro hitch that could be on multiple tractors or the larger John Deeres. This is the standard skid steer mount or small tractors, universal skid steer mount. And so when we added the extra features, we tried to make it as much not like a Swiss Army knife as we could, meaning, yes, it can do everything, but it doesn't do anything well. So we tried to make it easier on you as we could. So it's going to come with the adapter, like I said earlier, to be able to make it where you can use it for whatever size receiver you have. Since you'll need to remove the spikes to be able to use your gooseneck, in most cases, if you've got a really big gooseneck trailer, you may not have to take this off. Probably wouldn't recommend it. You probably could end up somewhere you didn't want to. So we made it easy with pull pins, where you can just pull the pin, got the little ball in it. You can pull out your sections. And you would have to do that to be able to use your receiver hitch, including moving the bell sphere. Now, I don't have this in tight, but it is just one nut. It's a tapered nut to keep it centered through this long collar. And that long collar, as I said earlier, goes through both of those pieces of steel, making a 3/4 inch connection. So once you remove that, you're able to use your receiver hitch really easy. You're able to use your gooseneck hitch really easily. It makes it as functional as it can be, as quick as it can be, to do the other things that it's capable of doing with the receiver hitch and the gooseneck hitch. We're going to turn it around to the back and we'll show you that it's just the standard universal hitch. And thanks for everybody at Everything Attachments for waiting through the 12-week waiting period we used to have at our old factory. We're really glad to be getting back into the field, back up on the turntable, showing you all the new stuff. Anything that you see on my website currently has probably been updated considerably, and the pictures and stuff not even changed. When you're 12 weeks behind, we had time to make product updates and stuff, but we didn't really have time to show it to you, to sell more, to get further behind. So now that we've caught up, we can kind of show you some of the goodies you've been missing, but you're going to be getting in the future. So this is just your standard universal hitch, where you're going to grab it from the underneath this rail right here, and your wedge pins will go down in there. All the frames will still come with all 3 sleeves, depending on the bell combination you want, and the spikes and things. It just whatever combination, whether you're doing big square bells, round bells, you should be able to do everything with this. And you'll still see the holes in every frame that are for the John Deere hitch, if that were on it. So it's been a long time at Everything Attachments since we've been back in front of the camera. We've missed y'all. We really hope to have a really good 2020 with you. We're making new products every day. Nate and I are drawing. It's just a matter of getting in the field, getting the new machinery we've got, our new lasers, our new tubing lasers, and everything doing the jobs where it makes you a better product, easier for us to assemble it, and we both win. Without the dealers, the reps, the distributors, it leaves enough to where we can sell you a far superior product than anybody has on the market, but still be less than the most expensive ones. So it's a win-win for the customer. It's become a good marketing way for us to get to you, and we hope to have a great year together.